COVID lockdown, New South Wales, we are here again. How is it changing real estate? We're going to rip it apart and put it all back together tonight. Stay tuned. With Lisa Novak, number 21 in Australia today.
Yes, I know. I just heard. Well, not very long ago. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is a good source that we're getting it from.
Yeah. So what this is this is not an award, guys. Ranked number 21 in the country, women. This is from Real Estate Business REB. These guys are kind of like the core logic of our industry. You know, they report, they're an extremely respected source. They do lots of things, but REB, Real Estate Business, I just found out a couple of hours ago that I've been ranked the number 21 female agent in the country. That's based on sales and volumes
so much hard work.
Results.
Well done.
Yes,
unbelievable.
thank you. And
Serious
guys,
dedication.
I have to say,
customers.
No, I've been in this industry for, well, not in the industry, but I've been in sales for 3 years. So I know that there's some phenomenal women there. There's a list of the top 50, of which I ranked number 21. But most of these incredible women have been in the industry for 10 to 15 years.
Massive.
So 3 years in. Yeah, thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the clients. And can I just say as well, like, there's a team here. I heard a really good quote today that if you want to grow fast, you can go solo, but if you want to actually, you know, expand and keep it that way forever and have a very fruitful, long, successful working, I'm a bit lost for words, but you know, you want to have a team behind you, and that is certainly the case here. There's a team behind me, so huge congratulations to everybody.
Well done to the team.
Thank you.
Now, to talk about COVID tonight, which is our topic, you're an extremely well-heeled person, given the amount of volume that you're doing in the market, to talk about exactly what's happening with COVID at the moment in New South Wales. You're probably over it, but I think there's some really good information out of tonight's episode, what we're talking about with how it's changing, what's it going to do with prices, what's on the horizon, where we've come from, all of that stuff. Very, very interesting time that we are in the market again.
Well, I think what people want to know at this time, and, you know, for those of you guys that are tuning in outside of Sydney, you'd have to be in your own bubble to not know that we're in lockdown. And don't worry, Mark and I are married. That's why we're allowed to sit this close to each other. But what is going to happen with real estate? I think that is the main focus here, Mark. What's going to happen with real estate? So, you know, is it going to affect the market? Is it going to affect the Northern Beaches market? Is it going to affect the Sydney market? A price is going to plummet again? What's going to happen? What do you think?
I'm not going to tell you straight away.
Oh, okay.
But let's look at the facts. So, you know, I think if you look at New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, and you look at, it's not our first time. And we were really, really shocked, in awe, scared, freaked out when COVID first hit. I think we're trying to count the COVID by C1, C2, C3, Victoria, C3, Victoria again, C4, New South Wales, C5. Maybe even we're up to like C7, C8 now, right? But we know what we're doing. And I was having a talk with your mum. And I think, God bless her, and I think a lot of people, I think what we can't forget is we've been there before a lot, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. And I think what you also can't forget, and what I've actually seen with property, is it's crystallized with people a lot about what's important. I think, you know, you can look at it, and I said in C1 when COVID first launched, I said, look, guys, all you have to worry about is it's like energy or like money.
Yeah.
It doesn't get burnt or buried. It actually gets transferred. The energy gets transferred. So when COVID C1 hit, I said, guys, you've just got to be where the energy is. You've just got to actually shift. The word pivot was used a lot in C1, and you got to move to where that action is, to where the energy is, to where the labour is needed, and you got to provide services and products to accommodate around what people are doing at that time. Not what you did 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yep.
5 days ago, 5 weeks ago. So I think what we've definitely learnt now, and what we're really well tooled with now, because you're dealing with mental, you know, people's mental state. You're dealing with people's financial state that they're in. You're dealing with people's work, with people's family. It's messing with everything that people's got.
Oh, without a doubt.
And when you tie it back to property, it's really interesting.
Okay, so here's the thing. So COVID-1 here in Sydney, what we were dealing with was a massive plunge in the market. Everyone was scared. Landlords were scared. Tenants were scared. You know, vendors were scared. Buyers were scared. Everyone was scared. But here we are now. We've gone through this a few times now. And the reality is, Mark, since the COVID lockdown was announced on Saturday, for me personally, and yes, I'm transacting a lot of deals, but for me personally, I've done, I think I'm currently about to do my 5th deal since lockdown was actually announced on Saturday. So are the buyers scared? No, no one's even mentioned a single word to me actually about COVID. Not a single vendor has mentioned to me a word about COVID. Oh, do you think it's going to affect our sale price? Buyers are certainly not holding off like they were in round 1, obviously, because I'm just about to do my 5th deal now tonight as we speak. I've had one vendor only call me. I've got a listing that was due to come on next week, and he said, oh, should we just wait till lockdown? And I said, well, what for? Like, there's certainly buyers out there, and it's, you know, bring the property on. We're still allowed to do those one-on-one inspections. We're just not allowed to have open homes. So we can still get the buyers through. You know, I've been.
You couldn't do that in Victoria.
No, you couldn't do it in Victoria. No. We've got a better premier, though. I think everyone knows that.
Everyone loves Gladys.
People love Gladys.
Everyone loves Look,
look, she's just for the people. That's why. Gladys is for the people. You know, even when she talks, and that's a discussion for a whole nother day. I mean, I'm not much into politics, but I just think she's for the people, and that's the important thing. I'm always flying that flag, Mark. You know, what is it that the people want? What do the people want? There's no harm in grabbing a buyer, one buyer. So if you're a couple, if you're married, guys, as an agent, we cannot bring you both through together to a property. We're allowed to take one buyer through a property at a time. We can tag team, but we can just take that one buyer through. So really, it's business as usual in real estate world. I think that's the general crux of it. I can't imagine that this 2-week lockdown is actually going to do anything to property prices. The market was already starting to level out before this COVID lockdown. I think we can confidently say it hit a peak. We're up 10-20% on the northern beaches, and it was certainly starting to level out there. I can't see these prices changing. I can't see the market changing at all.
It was definitely moving to a balanced market. It was a seller's market, and it was crazy. I'd love to know. We've got a couple of pros on here tonight, and even some in our social media community. What do you guys reckon the net effect over the next lockdown is going to be? What do you think is going to happen? Put your comments down. I'm interested to read what you guys think. Is the market going to be same, up or down as a result of over the next 2, possibly 4 weeks? You don't know.
So here's my crystal ball prediction, and this is just my opinion, guys. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're just going to bop along as per usual. Certainly what I've seen in the last few days, we've been absolutely flat out. There's no signs of this market cooling down at this stage. I reckon things are going to bop along, and I actually think the floodgates are going to open up again as soon as we're out of lockdown. So we started to come into a bit of a, you know, into a little bit of a lull over the last 4 to 6 weeks. The market was furious. Then it seemed to just plateau out a little bit. I think we're going to see that furiosity, if that's even a word, if it's not, I'm definitely going to be using it from now on. But I think
ferocity.
But that craziness, I think we're actually going to see it back in the marketplace again as soon as we are let out of this lockdown period. And the reason is people realise, and it's reiterated more and more every time we go into a lockdown, how important the home is. And people go, you know, stuff this, I'm getting out of here. I'm going north. I'm moving to the country. I'm definitely, the people that were thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, this is just going to confirm those thoughts. And I think that market is just going to pick up again. You heard it here from me. I reckon that market's going to pick up again in about 2 to 3 weeks' time.
Okay, we've got some comments coming through from some people out there.
Hey, Rosie. Hello.
Stevan, legend in the western suburbs. Prices will level out. I like that.
An agent from the west.
I like a level out.
Yep.
It's not prices going through the roof. It's not prices going down.
Yep.
And I call that a balanced market where sellers aren't scared to sell, because a lot of sellers have been scared to sell because they have to buy again. They're like, that's too hard doing my head in, I won't.
And Rosie's saying same, and even though it's winter. Hey, that's a really good point, Rosie. So can I just say, guys, these seasons have nothing to do with the property market.
Yep.
So it's in people's minds, but the property market certainly doesn't change because it's cold, and it certainly doesn't change because it's hot. That property market, if you actually have a look at a graph of what property prices do over a 12-month period, you'll know exactly what I'm saying is correct. So interesting to see, though. Yep.
All right, and love everyone's feedback and comments. I love it. Sheetal is saying depends on the extent of the lockdown. If it's extended and the number of cases are in control.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. But I think what you can't forget, guys, is what's actually happened. If I know we like to segregate markets, we like to talk about the property market, we like to talk about the used car market, we like to talk about the restaurant market. I think at the end of the day, if you and I always go back to energy, like it's to transfer energy. You dig down to the core of people, and what's actually played out in the last 15 months for people is they have realized or crystallized their dreams. So 100%. They haven't been crazy. They haven't been stupid about it, but they've said, okay, if I chop out that part of my life, how can I improve that part of my life that I can improve? Now, and I know we're very quick to say property, but I think when you looked at people stamping out overseas travel, when you looked at people saying, okay, look, I can't go overseas, I can't spend $10,000 over there, and they've been limited or suppressed from doing that, they've then looked at what they can do. And I think a lot of people have thought, okay, well, I can do the upgrade on my home. Like Bunnings has gone bananas, Harvey Norman's has gone bananas, all those guys. I can buy that plasma that I wanted to buy because I'm not going overseas. So I can because but I will also, because.
But in addition to that, people are getting sick and tired of this. So if you have a look at the attitude of people initially with COVID, people were scared. What did they do? They bunkered down and they hibernated. Obviously, we're in a forced lockdown now, but the attitude of people, now that we're in like lockdown 3, 4, whatever version it is now, the attitude of people is just like, for God's sakes, let's just get on with it. And I was thinking about moving 12 months ago, and now I'm definitely going to do it. I'm getting out of here. I'm moving to the northern beaches, or I'm moving out of the northern beaches and I'm heading further north. So I think this is just reiterating what people already were thinking, because I know, just speaking to people, they're like, you know what, I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going bush. I'm going to go buy some acreage. Look at what's going on in all of these regional areas.
Bananas.
Those markets are going bananas.
But you know what's interesting? It's been the ultimate amplification, or the ultimate amplifier, or the ultimate sort of. It has, and again, this is a conversation I had with my mother-in-law tonight. There's been a local restaurant that's closed down. And she was like, damn shame, restaurant closed down, bloody COVID. And I said, you know what? COVID's made, and look, there's an exception. There's the 5% airlines, people like that, real shit times, I get it. But it's made good businesses better, and it's made bad businesses worse. So she was referring to, I think, fashion labels, Westfields and things like that. And I said, it's true, but I think the future of retail was already struggling with the direction to take.
Yeah.
So I think tying that all back to property and trying to sort of read the play of which way it's going to go, I think if you go back to people's inner deep, what they really want, I think property is still 101 core. It doesn't change with technology.
Well, it's proved its resilience, hasn't it? Because if we go back and have a look at when we first came into COVID back in March of last year, when it really started to affect the property market, property prices plummeted about 10 to 20%. They rebounded extremely quickly. Within a matter of months, they rebounded and they proved their resilience. So people find confidence in knowing that that resilience of property is there. They feel safe in putting their money into bricks and mortar based on that. Can we also just cover a few things that you are and are not able to do, guys, with property during this particular lockdown as we go to air tonight? We are not allowed to hold open homes. I know you guys covered it this morning. So no open homes. However, we are allowed to do private one-on-one inspections. We are setting up software for our properties currently. If it hasn't been done already, you'll be able to go on. There will be an open time window for properties and you'll be able to book your own 5-minute private inspections on there. That's how we're running it. Routine inspections are allowed. One agent and one tenant, or actually no, whoever's residing in that property, but just the one agent. Property appraisals are allowed. So one agent is allowed to go into a household to appraise a property if the vendor allows. And no physical auctions. We've had to pivot a few of our auctions over the last couple of days, but we are allowed to do Zoom auctions, or we can just run a best and fairest, whatever the agent feels is the best option for that property. So that's what we do know, guys, which really means it's business as usual. Yes, you have to pay your rent. That doesn't stop. I'm sorry. I'm afraid to say it does not stop. It's, obviously we're here to help you guys, the tenants, but it's not the agent who owns the property or the property manager who owns the property. At the end of the day, if you're unable to pay your rent because you're in financial distress, you will need to put an extremely good case forward that must be backed up with some pretty severe, or not severe, but some pretty hefty documentation that we can then supply to the landlord.
Now, Rosie's one of the biggest trainers in the country for real estate. And I just wanted to ask Rosie, out of Lisa and I, your favourite real estate agent that you think, give me a tick if it's Mark Novak. Thank you, Rosie. Yep, you're the best. Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
She's very
and the best looking Rosie out of the two of us.
Is that Mark Novak? Give us a thumbs up. Yes, there's a thumbs up. Thank you very much. It's good being in control here. I like it.
And sorry, who was rated the REB number 21 in the country? Was that Lisa or Mark Novak?
I think Rosie said same, even though it's winter. Same, Lisa. Whatever. There you go.
Goodness me. That. But guys, in all seriousness, if there is something that you are unsure about that's real estate related, if we don't know, we will certainly reach out and get some answers for you.
Yep.
And also, if you just need a little bit of help, in terms of just mentally, or if you do need any help, we do realize, all jokes aside, this is a very, very tough time for a lot of people. We're not naive. We don't have our heads in the clouds. We're working overtime at the moment because it is busy. There's concern out there from tenants and landlords, etc. We're certainly all working overtime. But if there's ever anything that we can help you with, just reach out to us. We will certainly do all we can to help. We are highly, highly promoting that for those Northern Beaches people, or anyone at all really in Sydney, please, guys, go and shop locally. What is going on in those supermarkets is appalling. I don't get the whole toilet paper thing.
Rosie said Lisa, hands down. So I think she means you're using your hands too much. You're using your hands too much tonight.
You mean,
don't use your hands.
I know what you mean. Don't worry. Us girls have got each other. You two are legends. I don't get the whole toilet paper thing, and I don't really care to understand it, but I can tell you now, if I was going to go into the supermarket and run to buy anything, it's going to be wine and chocolate. I don't get the toilet paper thing.
I don't get the toilet. The talking about. I don't get.
We can survive without toilet paper. We can't survive without wine and chocolate.
But I don't even get talking about, like, why waste all that airtime on toilet paper, all that valuable media on talking about dunny paper? Just buy the dunny paper you need, store it at home.
But guys, go buy it locally. Like, I know some of our local shops around us. These guys are full of produce.
Yeah.
Go and help them, because the last thing we want is to see these guys closing down. As Mark mentioned, we've had a local restaurant that's shut down. You know, speaking with one of our really, really good friends, they've got businesses that are struggling big time. They don't know how they're going to recover from this.
You know who they are. Support them.
Yeah.
You know those businesses. You know those businesses are. Always, and another thing, I like use cash. I like using cash because I think you've got a good tip, Mark, about Deliveroo, and give them a bit of a tip.
Yeah.
And if you can pull your finger out of your bum and go pick it up, you're going to add 20 or 30% to their bottom line of their business.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realise that companies like Uber Eats and Deliveroo actually take 30% of the profits of these local businesses.
Great companies, good on them.
Phenomenal companies, phenomenal service. But, you know, right now we're trying to help these small businesses. If you can actually order directly from a lot of these restaurants, it's a lot more money in their back pocket, and it might be the difference of them shutting down or staying open.
Yeah.
So, you know, rather than being quick to order off that Deliveroo app, try and go direct to the restaurant. That's what we've been doing. Obviously, everyone's home at the moment, you know, getting food delivered wherever they can.
Yeah.
Try that, guys. It's really important.
And also, guys, don't forget about what property does. Don't forget about the reason why we buy property and the reason we sell property. That's core. So if you're trying to unlock what the hell is happening in COVID at the moment, dig deep. Have a look really at why you actually own that property. Do you really need to upgrade the property? Do you really need to sell the property and live better?
Yeah.
And I think that it's now more important than ever that property is doing what property has always done and should do. So I think no knee-jerk reactions. You genuinely need, want, deserve a better home, a better lifestyle. Boom, you do it now.
Also, it's nice to see the investors back in the market. Can I just say, over the last few months, I've certainly seen tons more investors back in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So that's great to see. Again, like, I think people were nervous that people weren't going to be paying rents, and I think it scared a lot of the investors off. But they've realised that people have, and we've seen a lot more of those investors back in the marketplace, which has been awesome too.
If you look at the trends through COVID for investors, they haven't been during COVID, the heavy times of COVID. It's been something that could fall behind the wayside, by the wayside. I'm not going to invest in a property. I need to bloody survive. Now, I'm a big fan of when it's a bit counterintuitive, as in you actually do something which everyone's running south, running north. I'm going to run south. I actually think at the moment there's been record lows of people buying investment properties, and I think that is a perfect time to get into the marketplace in this COVID environment for buying investment properties. And not only, I'm not trying to be an opportunist or a capitalist, but what I'm saying is it also supplies rental accommodation and affordable accommodation to people when you buy an investment property. Because as people decide to dump their investment properties and go and buy a farm, there's less and less and less investment properties in the pool in Sydney, and that makes it expensive because rents start going up for people. So I know Harry Triggerboff is always plugging affordability. When he builds these big towers, he's bringing affordability to the market. That's common sense. That's true. But on the back of that, if people are selling their investment properties and going, heck, I just want to live well, that's putting a lot of pressure on rents in the marketplace. So it could be a really good time now to buy an investment property in Sydney, given what's happening around there. If you've got the ability and you can, and in 10 years it doubles, you retire better.
But I think it's safe to say, guys, just in wrapping up, that, you know, are we seeing any signs? Obviously, we're only a few days into COVID lockdown here in Sydney. Are we seeing any signs that it's affecting the market? Definitely not.
No.
I reckon I've had my last 3 days have been some of my you can vouch, like I literally have not been off my phone, been some of the busiest days I've had in the last few months. It's been crazy. You know, even auctions and all sorts of things. Tomorrow night we've got a Zoom auction. I think we've already got a number of people registered for that. All the numbers that we were expecting. So, you know, it's full steam ahead in real estate world. If you need advice, we are here to help.
Unemployment's record low. You know,
oh my goodness!
You want a job, you got a job, kids. It's not hard. So
many people are complaining that
pins property down as well.
That they're looking for staff as well. There's plenty of work out there, but people don't seem to be able to get staff.
And before we sign out, have a good, long, hard think if there's anyone out there that you can actually genuinely help, mentally, physically, financially, or any of that sort of stuff, because sometimes at the moment you know, and I think you actually know those people in your life, and you know those businesses in your life, and you know those, if you have got the ability to help, now's a great time to extend your hand out and olive branch out, because there's so much turbulence in people's life. I think that change really messes with people. I know COVID, mentally for COVID, I go crazy with how much friends and particular family talk about what's happening. Every
my mum loves to report every.
I wasn't going to say your mum, but it was. No.
My mum loves to report every 2 minutes. COVID cases, what's going on, the latest places where COVID is. I said, Mum, it's just safe to say that every 1 minute is breaking news, and every 1 minute it's about COVID. So just all I'm interested in every morning is how many cases are there, and are we adhering to all the things that we're meant to be adhering to?
My point of that is everyone deals with this thing differently.
Yeah.
And just be considerate to the people that actually, and if people want to pipe up and talk about how good or how bad or whatever it is, listen to people. It's just nice. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone has to think like you. You know what I mean?
People deal with things differently. But guys, in wrapping up, we could talk about this all night. In wrapping up, it's real estate as per usual. We've certainly seen no signs of anything slowing down. In fact, as I said, it's been chaotic. If there's anything that we haven't answered here tonight, reach out to us. We're always here to help you. Pay your rents. One-on-one inspections are on. We're still able to do appraisals, and it's you know, it's business as usual. Yes, we are operating. Yes, we're considered an essential service, and we're here to help, guys.
And if there's something you want to us to talk about live, pop it in comments or direct messages as well. Share this with a friend. That really helps us do what we do even more when we know that it's shared and liked and that sort of stuff. But guys, stay safe. Enjoy your family the next 2 weeks. It's much easier to enjoy your family when it's locked down, and be good.
Absolutely. And thank you, Rosie, for telling me that I'm the best real estate agent. Love you. Bye.
What?
Yes.
Lisa just blamed me for waffling on the whole show, and I just want to say it wasn't waffle. It was just genuine, detailed conversation.
Waffle.
It's slack.